don't think hip-hop beefs are good for the culture. Big and Pac both got killed. Me and 50 was me and 50. Jay and Nas had their thing. You know how much business and things they probably could have did as men if that little riff or tiff didn't happen? Then you look at Kendrick and Drake. Nothing good is coming out of any of these things. What did it ever bring hip-hop that was so significant that we're like, yo, let's keep doing this? I want to see Rick Ross and Drake do another joint. I love they records together.
But then the would say, I want to see a Jive 50.
We've never done a record together. We've never been friends. So I don't know why people want to see that.
You talk about reconciliation.
I'm like, just saying, that shit up New York hip hop. Because it separated a lot of in New York. And it was like, yo, hypothetically, what could that have been if two Queens juggernauts came together and made some money together? What could it have been if me and Nas would have did the collab like we was gonna do and didn't come to fruition? Or me, Jay, and X would have did the Murder Inc. project. All of this is if was a fifth. Cheers.
Now, I understand what Ja Rule is saying in terms of beef being bad for hip hop, but I kind of disagree. I understand the street side and the violent side of it. I think that certain beefs are bad for hip hop, but certain beefs have actually brought out some of the best in hip hop. If you take this Drake and Kendrick beef that just happened, last year, that was a very exciting moment for hip hop in an era that's been otherwise pretty dull. It's not been a whole lot going on in hip hop, particularly speaking, but think about like the Jadakiss and Beans beef, Rockefeller versus D Block. Think about, all the people that Q beefed with. Even if you think about like the D Block and G Unit beef, all of these early 2000s, 90s beefs that didn't spill out into the streets and didn't really turn into nothing super crazy and super violent was so dope because, like I said, it brought out the best in these artists and it kind of pushed hip hop to its fullest potential. Hip hop has always kind of been a competitive, non-contact, semi-contact sport, if you really want to break it down. And that's what we as hip hop enthusiasts and artists and fans appreciate about it. I think part of what Ja Rule is saying might be coming from the perspective of him, of somebody that isn't really seen as have wanting a lot of battles or beefs with these people that he's talking about. I mean, DMX went on to have a way more, I think, and I don't want to take anything away from Ja Rule, but I'm just talking about what the people typically say. They typically say that Ja Rule lost to 50. They typically say that Ja Rule lost to DMX. Ja Rule still went on to have an amazing career, put out hit records, dope shit, been in movies, then did it all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking nothing away from Ja Rule. And he's still here. He's still alive to be able to tell this story and to be able to have this opinion. I take nothing away from Ja Rule. But is that kind of the mentality that of where he's coming from? Because when you look at the artists that actually won their battles and won their beefs, they not sitting around saying, yeah, beef isn't good for hip hop. Even the Jay and Nas situation, that was a really dope moment because it brought like two worlds together to collide now. If you want to talk about in terms of unity and tearing down, each other in our own community and our own culture and this, that, and third, I could definitely see some downside to that because you don't see other artists from other genres doing that. That doesn't mean they don't beef. There's beef in every genre of music. There's beef in every facet of entertainment. But the difference of hip hop is that we actually talk about these things publicly, diss each other on records publicly, to where it's a back and forth thing. You got certain soul singers and R&B singers that send shots at another singer in their music, and they might have went back and forth. Jermaine Jackson made a diss song about his brother Michael. So it's not like beef started in hip hop, okay? We could put that narrative to sleep. But in terms of it being good or bad for hip hop, I lean more towards the good side because of the competitiveness and the creativity that it has brought out of the artists that participate in it. And believe it or not, the majority of these hip hop artists are not really street guys. They might be from the streets. They might got street guys around them. They might have even did some street shit here and there, but they're not really street guys.
You got a business, you got a brand, you got music. Nobody knows you exist and you need exposure. DM me or email me right now, bookingcranklucas@gmail.com to get the exposure that you need, and I will share your content on my platform. I got 850,000 subscribers on YouTube. I got 450,000 followers on Instagram. I have the audience that you need to get your content in front of. And right now, I'm running a holiday special, so you can get all this exposure for the low. Hit me up right now. I got you.
So that shit not gonna spill into no real street shit. So more than likely, they gonna go through what they go through and then patch it up and maybe do records or whatever together. Cause a lot of these niggas is soft, for real, for real. A lot of these niggas ain't really who they claim to be on their records anyway. But what do you guys think in the comments section? Let me know. And if you want to hear a dope beef record, a dope diss record, I just dropped a new video called What If 50 Cent Diss Marlon Wayans? Because you know 50 Cent and Marlon Wayans been going back and forth. So I had to do a parody of it. You can check it out right here.